Welcome to Bits and Pieces Quilting. Today I want to talk about my obsession with Elizabeth Hartman patterns. Hi, I'm Michelle, and today I want to take you on a little tour of my collection of Elizabeth Hartman patterns and tell you why I'm obsessed with them. So let's dive right in. For those of you not familiar, Elizabeth Hartman makes these absolutely incredibly detailed patterns. And I invite you to go to her website. I'll put the website down below here, but I think it's just elizabethhartman.com, and take a look. They are spectacular. And one of the things I really like about them is that it's all just traditional piecing. It looks incredibly complex and maybe even a little bit intimidating, but let me tell you, they are worth it. So let me take you on a little tour of what I've got here. It's pretty cool. My first ever project was Antonia Tiger. I picked this paper pattern up at a quilt shop near where my mom lives in London, Ontario. We had gone out to the quilt shop in Mount Bridges. They had this on the wall, and then they had the patterns for sale, and oh my gosh, these tigers, they just jumped out at me, and I thought, I really want to try this. So I bought the pattern, and this is the result. It is, they're so spectacular. I just love these tigers. It took me a little bit to get going and to get used to Elizabeth's process, the way that her patterns are written. But oh my gosh, it was worth it because the detail is exceptional. And I'm so proud of myself for pulling it off. The next thing after I made the tigers, let me move them out of the way, was the dinosaurs. Oh my gosh. I am a huge fan of dinosaurs. So this is incredibly bright and colorful, which is just for me. And I made these dinosaurs for myself. And oh my God, I love them. They are so beautiful and so much fun. And I've put all my brights and crazy fabrics into here. And it's just turned out so beautiful. I'll insert a bigger picture of the quilt here so that you can see the full thing. But it was wonderful. There are so many options for the dinosaur pattern. You can see the cover photo uses this really great olive green background. And on mine, I used that blue sky background just because of the colors that I was using in the background I wanted. Loads of options. And I love her patterns because she also gives you a smaller version. So you don't have to make the full giant scale piece. It's not too difficult to scale it down if you'd like. After having such wonderful success with Antonia, the tiger, I went online and bought the other patterns. So the dinosaurs, this one, the pretty birds, and a couple of others, I downloaded from Elizabeth Hartman's website. It was an easy, simple process, immediate delivery in a PDF format that I could just print out as needed. So you can get them at your quilt shop, or you can also get them as downloadable PDF. And I love these little cockatoos in the Pretty Birds pattern. We here in Australia, we have cockatoos, and they are funny birds. So let me show you what I made. I haven't finished quilting it yet, but this is a collection of cockatoos from the Pretty Birds pattern. In the town that we live in Canberra, you see a lot of these sulfur-crested cockatoos with the yellow heads and the white bodies. So I made a row of 4 sulfur-crested cockatoos. And then every now and again, you'll see a black cockatoo, one of these yellow-tailed black cockatoos. They're a bit rare, so it's pretty special to see one, but I wanted one in this project. It's a bit of a strange size, to be perfectly honest. I'm not really sure exactly what it's going to be when it's finished. It might be a cover for our coffee table, or it might be a table runner. It might even be a bit of a bed scarf or something. I'm not really sure, but I just loved these cockatoos and really wanted to make something with them. So this is an example of how the pattern, just one block in the pattern, can be made into something completely different. You don't have to make all of those birds in all of the intricate designs across an entire bed quilt. I also have the Fancy Forests and Arctic Feathers patterns, and I haven't done anything with those yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. As I show you some of these photos from the Awesome Ocean pattern, I want to talk through and show you some photos from my top 8 tips to be successful with these absolutely incredible patterns. Number 1, cut carefully and make sure that you have a sharp blade and a fresh or a smooth cutting mat. And be consistent with how you use your ruler so that your fabric pieces are consistent across the whole project. Number 2, read the patterns carefully. In some instances, you only need a tiny amount of some of the colors, and this can be a really great opportunity to find that perfect contrasting color in your scrap bin. Number 3, find some way to label your pieces. Many are of a similar size, and it is really easy to get them confused. Just ask me how I know. I ended up laying them out, as you can see here, on some sheets of pink paper, with each piece labeled as indicated in the pattern. Number 4, press all your seams open. One thing I've learned as I work on these Elizabeth Hartman dinosaurs is that precision is the key to success. And so I've just run my sewing machine over this seam, and you can see that it's folded over because the recommendation is to press all the seams open, and it's a great recommendation. And so in a normal project, I would probably just leave that and move on and just squish that down really well. But I have learned that for these dinosaurs, for any Elizabeth Hartman pattern, to focus on precision. So I am going to use my seam ripper, pull that out, and try it again. Much better. Only took a few seconds, and this seam will now lie much flatter once I press it. Number 5, pay attention to seam allowances and precision, because with so many pieces, even a little bit here or there can quickly make a real difference. So this is a project where precision is really important, so take your time. And that leads into tip number 6. Take it slow for the first couple of blocks. The things you learn through making these first blocks are directly applicable across all the other patterns. So I started with one block of Antonia tiger, and I was then able to cut and construct multiple tigers as a batch after gaining some valuable experience and making a few mistakes with the first block. You can see here that I've had to take out a piece in the middle because I forgot I had 4 extra leftover 1.5-inch squares, and I thought, oh, maybe I miscut. But no, I forgot a very important piece of the eyelid for the tiger and needed to take it apart and put those last pieces into place. Tip number 7, when sewing diagonal seams across a square or a rectangle, sew slightly inside of the line for more precision, and that accounts for the minuscule width of the thread and really does make a difference to getting those points perfectly lined up. And finally, tip number 8, and perhaps most important, enjoy the process. These quilts are about sewing to create a work of art from fabric. They are not about making a quick quilt or a last-minute gift. They will take some time, but the process is worth it. They are really, really fabulous creations. As you can see, I'm a little bit obsessed. These are fantastic, fantastic patterns. And I hope the tips that I've given you and some of the little bit of show and tell inspires you to perhaps give these a try. You can find more information on elizabethhartman.com. Download the patterns. They really, really are spectacular. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy making the most of your fabric bits and pieces.